Welcome back to Chapter by Chapter Stories. Settle in, the story is about to begin. The creek should have been loud. That was the first thing Rowan noticed as soon as they reached the bend in the path. The place where the water curved around the sycamore's roots before slipping downstream toward the mill. Normally, this stretch of hollow creek never stopped talking. Water slapped against stone, leaves drifted and caught in eddies. Something always moved. Always sounded alive. Today, it didn't. The creek slid past in a smooth, dark sheet, barely whispering, like it was careful not to draw attention to itself. Rowan slowed his bike and put his foot down. Maeve did the same without being told, and Eli tilted his head, listening hard. "This is wrong," Maeve said quietly. Rowan nodded. "It's not resting." Eli frowned. "It's contained." That word settled uncomfortably between them. They walked their bikes to the edge of the bank. The air near the water felt colder than the rest of the woods. Sharp against Rowan's face. He crouched and dragged his fingers through the surface. The cold went straight to the bone. He yanked his hand back. "That's deeper than it should be," Maeve said. Eli scanned the shoreline, eyes narrowing. "Something's missing." Rowan followed his gaze, and then he saw it. Or rather, he didn't. The old flood marker was gone. The post had been there since before Rowan could remember. Gray and splintered, half rotted but stubborn, carved with faint lines marking floods that had shaped the town long before Rowan existed. It didn't move. Except now, it wasn't there at all. Rowan's stomach dropped. That doesn't wash away. Maeve stepped closer to the edge, staring at the bare patch of bank. "It was set into the ground," Eli's voice came out tight, "which means it was removed." Maeve shook her head. "By who?" Eli swallowed. "By what?" The word "took" floated unspoken between them. Rowan felt warmth against his back. The map. He hadn't even realized he was reaching for it until it was already in his hands. The paper felt heavier than before, thicker, like it had absorbed something. Maeve's eyes widened. "Rowan." He unfolded it slowly. A new mark had appeared. Small, precise, impossible to mistake. A rectangle etched just beside the creek's bend. Eli exhaled sharply. "That's the post." Maeve stared. "So the map updated?" Rowan's voice was hoarse. "Not after." Eli nodded. "During." The water rippled, once, then again. Rowan's heart began to pound as something pale surfaced between the stones. Wood. The top of the flood marker rose slowly from the creek, like a hand breaking the surface. Maeve gasped. "It's showing us." Rowan crouched, instinct screaming at him to grab it, to anchor something familiar. Before he could move, the current shifted. The post rolled once, then slipped beneath the surface, vanishing as smoothly as it had appeared. Gone. The creek resumed its quiet murmur. Eli whispered, "It wanted us to see." Rowan stared at the water. "It wanted us to understand." For a long moment, none of them spoke. The woods creaked softly. Somewhere, a bird took flight. Everything else felt suspended. Maeve finally broke the silence. "So it can take things?" Eli nodded. "And it keeps track." Rowan folded the map slowly. "And it chooses what to return." That realization made his chest feel tight. Maeve straightened suddenly. "Rowan." He followed her gaze across the creek. A man stood on the opposite bank, partially hidden by the trees. Not close enough to recognize. Close enough to know he was watching. The man didn't raise a hand, didn't pretend to be hiking or checking his phone. He simply stood there, waiting. Maeve whispered, "That's not a coincidence." Eli's voice shook. "He wasn't there a second ago." The man turned calmly and walked into the trees, disappearing as easily as the flood marker had. Rowan's pulse raced. "Did you recognize him?" Maeve shook her head. "No." Eli swallowed, but he knew where to stand. They mounted their bikes without another word. As they rode back toward town, Rowan felt the weight of the map pressing into his back like a reminder. Something had been taken. Something had been shown. Something else was watching to see what they did next. Behind them, the creek flowed deeper and quieter than before, patient, as if it had made its point. End of chapter 5. If you're enjoying the story, please leave a comment below and come back next week.